Let me ask you something. And I need you to really answer this. Not the polite answer. The honest one. If your income stopped today, right now, at this exact moment, how long could you survive? Not comfortably. Not well. Just survive. Pay rent. Buy food. Keep the lights on. How long? A month? 2 months? Or would the panic start before the week was even over? Most people, when they sit with that question, feel something uncomfortable move through their chest. Because the truth is, most of us are one bad month away from real trouble. And the terrifying part? It's not because you're not working hard enough. You are working hard. You're tired. You're showing up. You're doing everything you were told to do. And still, there's nothing left at the end of the month. Today, we're going to talk about why. I want you to meet someone. Her name is Amara. She's 29 years old. She works as an administrative manager at a mid-sized company in the city. She earns a solid, respectable middle-income salary. Enough to live. Enough to feel like you should be building something. She wakes up at 6:30 every morning. She makes her coffee. Actually, she stopped making coffee at home because the machine broke 3 months ago and she keeps meaning to fix it, so now she buys it on the way to work. She commutes. She works. She's good at her job. She goes home at 7 p.m., orders food because she's too tired to cook, watches something on her phone, falls asleep. She tells herself, this month I'll save something. She doesn't. She's been telling herself that for 2 years. Amara has no savings account. Well, she has one, technically. There's a tiny amount in it. She put it there 8 months ago and hasn't touched it because she almost feels superstitious about it. Like if she removes it, she'll admit she failed. She has 2 loans. A small personal loan she took last year when her phone broke. And a buy now pay later balance she forgot about until it started deducting automatically. Every month, Amara earns her salary, pays what screams the loudest, and wonders where the rest went. She's not reckless. She's not stupid. She's not lazy. She is, and this is the important part, operating on a system that was never designed to help her win. And she has no idea. That's the part that breaks my heart. She genuinely believes the problem is her income. If I just earned more, she tells her friend over drinks she split the bill for even though she couldn't really afford it, everything would change. But here's what's actually happening. Amara doesn't sleep well. Not because she's physically uncomfortable, but because somewhere in the back of her mind, there is a low, constant hum of financial anxiety. You know this hum. It's the thing that makes you check your bank balance at 11 p.m. for no real reason. It's the thing that makes you feel a little sick when a friend says, we should all go on that trip. It's the thing that makes you work harder and harder and still feel like you're standing still. For Amara, the consequences are showing up slowly. She turned down her cousin's small business idea, not because it was bad, but because she had nothing to invest. She avoided the doctor for 6 months because of the cost. A small issue became a bigger one. She started to feel resentful. Of people who seem to have more. Of colleagues who talk about their investments. Of social media, where everyone seems to be traveling, building, growing. She doesn't talk about money. Because money feels like shame. And every month, the cycle repeats. Salary comes in. Relief. Then panic. Then it's gone. Then shame. Then wait for next month. This is not a money problem. This is a habits problem. And habits, unlike income, are fully within your control. Here's the thing most people don't want to hear. Most people believe they're poor because they don't earn enough. Some of them are right. Structural inequality is real. Circumstances are real. But a large number of people earning decent incomes, are kept in financial pain not by their salary, but by 11 very specific habits. Habits so normal, so embedded in daily life, that they've become invisible. And that invisibility is exactly what makes them so dangerous. I need you to hear this clearly. The problem is not what you think it is. It's not that you earn too little. It's not that the economy is bad, though yes, it is. It's not bad luck. It's not your background. Here's what it actually is. You have been handed, without your knowledge or consent, a set of financial behaviors, patterns, reflexes. Some came from watching your parents. Some came from your culture. Some came from advertising that has spent decades training you to spend before you think. These behaviors feel completely normal. They feel like just life. But they're costing you more than you know. And the dangerous part is not the individual cost of each habit. It's the compound effect of all of them together. One habit maybe costs you a small amount each month. 11 habits working together silently every single month? That's your future. Gone. That's the house you could have built. That's the freedom you deserved. And the moment you see them, really see them, you cannot unsee them. This is where everything changes. Habit 1. You spend before you save. Let's start with the biggest one. Every month, Amara gets paid. And the first thing she does, the very first thing, is pay her rent, her subscriptions, her loans, her food, her transport. Then she looks at what's left. And she tries to save it. But there's never anything left. Here's the psychology behind this. We are wired to resolve discomfort immediately. A bill feels urgent. A text notification feels urgent. Your future self, 20 years from now? That person feels abstract, distant, not urgent at all. So we prioritize what's in front of us. Every single time. The consequence? You spend your whole working life keeping up with today and never building tomorrow. The fix is simple, but it requires a decision. Flip the order. Pay yourself first. The moment your salary comes in, before anything else, move a fixed amount into savings. Even if it's small. Even if it's 5%. Make it automatic. Make it invisible. This is not about willpower. It's about removing the decision entirely. Because if the money is already moved before you see it, you cannot spend what isn't there. Amara tried this. She set up an automatic transfer on the day her salary hit. She thought she'd struggle. She didn't. She adjusted. Within 6 weeks, it stopped feeling like sacrifice. Habit 2. You have no budget, you have a vibe. Most people don't have a budget. What they have is a feeling. A rough sense of, I think I'm okay, or I think I'm spending too much. This is called budgeting by feeling. And it almost always ends in overspending. Why? Because feelings are manipulated constantly. The new restaurant isn't that expensive. The outfit was on sale. The night out was I deserved it. All of those things might be true. But if you don't have a number, a real, specific number, you have no way to know if your choices are aligned with your goals. The consequence is that months pass without any clarity. You feel like you're managing, but you can't tell what's working and what isn't. The fix? Write down what comes in. Write down every category you spend on. Assign a number. That's it. That's a budget. It doesn't need an app. A piece of paper works. The act of writing it down, making it real and visible, changes your relationship with your money immediately. Habit 3. Lifestyle inflation. You earn more, you spend more. Think about the last time you got a raise or a bonus. What did you do? If you're honest, you probably started spending a little more. Not irresponsibly. Just a nicer area to eat. A better phone. A little more comfort. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it is one of the most seductive financial traps in existence. Because it doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like reward. It feels like, I've worked hard and I deserve this. And you do deserve good things. That's not the argument. The argument is this: if every increase in income is immediately absorbed by an increase in spending, your savings rate never improves. You earn more and feel exactly as broke as before. The fix is a simple rule. When income increases, allow yourself to spend a portion on pleasure. But direct a meaningful chunk towards savings or investments. Enjoyment and wealth building are not opposites, but they need to be consciously balanced. I stopped here. Habit 4. You're loyal to subscriptions you've forgotten about. I want you to do something right now. If you can, open your banking app. Look at your transactions from the last 30 days. Find every subscription, every recurring charge. Write them down. Now circle the ones you actually use this month. For most people, there's a gap. Sometimes a shocking gap. Streaming services you barely use. A gym membership from last January when you had hope. An app you downloaded once. Cloud storage you could reduce. This is the habit of passive spending. Money leaving your account not because you made a decision, but because you made a decision once, long ago, and never revisited it. The psychology: once we feel pain about a purchase, we avoid looking at it. The monthly charge becomes invisible because seeing it would mean confronting the guilt. The fix: do a subscription audit once every 3 months. Cancel anything you haven't actively used. Amara did this audit. She found 5 subscriptions she had completely forgotten about. She canceled 4 of them in 10 minutes. The money she saved went straight to her emergency fund. Habit 5. Use debt to fund a lifestyle you can't afford. This one is uncomfortable because debt has been completely normalized. Buy now, pay later. Soft loans. Credit cards. Interest-free arrangements that are never really interest-free. The psychology is brilliant and brutal. When you delay payment, the pain of spending is reduced. Behavioral economists call this temporal discounting. Future pain feels smaller than present pleasure. So you buy the phone. You take the vacation. You cover the gap at the end of the month. I'll handle it next month. But next month, the loan is still there. Plus interest. Plus your regular expenses. The consequence is a cycle that is almost physically difficult to escape. Because each month, your obligations grow heavier. And you need to borrow just to stay still. The fix is not never use debt. It's this: only use debt for things that grow in value or generate income. Your education. A business. Property. Not to fund today's lifestyle at the expense of tomorrow's freedom. The question to ask before every borrowed expense: is this building something, or is this just buying comfort I can't afford yet? Habit 6. You don't track where your money goes. There is a famous saying in business: what you don't measure, you can't manage. Your money is a business. And most people have never once looked at the books. They have a general sense. They know rent comes out. They know they spend on food. But the details, the specific patterns, the leaks are invisible. This matters because financial leaks are almost never in the obvious places. They're in the small, daily decisions that feel insignificant in the moment, but compound into thousands over a month. The fix: for just 30 days, track every single purchase. Every one. Not to judge yourself. Just to see. Most people are genuinely shocked by what they discover. Not because they're irresponsible, but because spending is emotional and habitual, and those two things together create patterns we never consciously chose. Seeing the patterns is the first step to changing them. Habit 7. You avoid thinking about money because it's stressful. This is the habit no one talks about. When money stress becomes too heavy, the brain does something fascinating: it avoids. You stop checking your balance. You put the bills in a drawer. You don't look at the loan statement. You change the subject when money comes up. This is not weakness. It's your brain trying to protect you. But here's the cruel irony: avoiding money problems makes them worse. Interest accumulates. Deadlines pass. Small manageable problems become large urgent crises. The fix is not to feel better about money. It's to schedule a time, once a week, 15 minutes, to look at your finances. No decisions required. Just looking. Familiarity reduces fear. You cannot manage what you refuse to face. Amara used to close her banking app the second it showed a number she didn't like. She started making herself look. Just look. Not fix. Just see. Within a month, the anxiety reduced. Not because her finances were better, but because the unknown, which is always scariest, had been replaced by the known. Habit 8. You spend to feel better, not to fulfill a need. Be honest with yourself here. How often do you buy something, an outfit, a meal, a drink, something online, not because you genuinely needed it, but because you were stressed, bored, sad, rewarding yourself for surviving a hard W? Eek! This is called emotional spending. And in a world designed to trigger your emotions constantly, social media, advertising, comparison culture, it has become epidemic. The psychology, spending creates a brief surge of dopamine. It relieves discomfort in the short term. It feels like self-care. But the consequence is a double burden. First, the money is gone. Second, when the dopamine fades, usually within hours, the original emotion is still there. And now there's guilt added on top. The fix is a pause. A 48-hour rule for non-essential purchases. Before you buy something unplanned, wait 48 hours. Most of the time, the impulse passes. The need wasn't real. The emotion was. And when you come back after 48 hours and still want it, then maybe it's worth it. Habit 9. You have no emergency fund. Here is a question that reveals everything. If something broke down tomorrow, your car, your phone, a medical expense, a week of lost work, could you cover it without borrowing? For most people in their 20s and 30s, the answer is no. And this is the habit that turns small setbacks into catastrophes. Without an emergency fund, every unexpected expense goes onto a loan or a borrowed favor. And now you've added debt to an already stressful situation. An emergency fund is not a luxury. It is financial infrastructure. 3 months of living expenses, sitting in a separate account that you do not touch. It does not need to earn great interest. It is not an investment. It is a buffer between you and disaster. The single most important financial safety net you can build. If you have nothing saved right now, start with a target of 1 month of expenses. Then 2. Then 3. It will take time. That's okay. Start anyway. Habit 10. You compare your life to the highlight reel. Your colleague drives a new car. Your classmate just posted photos from Bali. Your friend just bought a house. And you're sitting there thinking, what am I doing wrong? Here's what's actually happening. You're comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. You don't see your colleagues' car payments. You don't see your classmates' credit card debt from that trip. You don't know what sacrifices your friend made for that house. The comparison culture has been weaponized by social media, by advertising, by status symbols, to make you spend money you don't have to buy things you don't need to impress people who aren't paying attention. The fix is ruthlessly personal. Define what wealth means to you. Not to Instagram. Not to your family. Not to your neighborhood. To you. What does your version of security look like? Your version of freedom? Your version of enough? When you have that anchor, the noise of comparison loses its power. Habit 11. You wait for enough before you start investing. I'll start investing when I have more. This sentence has cost people more money than any other financial mistake in history. Because of a principle called compound interest, the idea that money grows on itself over time, the single most important factor in wealth building is not how much you invest. It's when you start. Someone who invests a small amount consistently at 25 will, in most scenarios, end up with significantly more than someone who invests a larger amount starting at 35. Time is the ingredient that cannot be bought back. The fix: start now, start small, start simple. Even if it's a small percentage of your income in a savings account with decent interest, a treasury bill, or a low-cost index fund, start. The habit of investing is more important than the amount. Your future self will not care how much you understood about finance. They will only care that you started. Let's go back to Amara. 6 months after she watched a video like this one, took it seriously, decided to actually try, her life looks like this. She still earns the same salary. Nothing dramatic changed on the income side. But she set up an automatic transfer into a separate savings account on the day her salary hits. She spent one Sunday afternoon building a simple monthly budget. She wrote it on paper. She taped it to her refrigerator. It took 45 minutes. She canceled 4 subscriptions she hadn't used in months. She started tracking her spending. She noticed she was spending a significant amount on food delivery every month. She started cooking 3 times a week. It wasn't a sacrifice. She actually started to enjoy it. She stopped buying things impulsively. She started asking herself, Do I actually need this, or am I just tired right now? 6 months later, she has a real emergency fund started. It's not a fortune. She knows that. But it's the first time in 3 years she's had more in her account at the end of the month than at the beginning. She sleeps better. Not perfectly, but better. The anxiety hum is quieter. And for the first time, when she imagines her future, she feels something she hadn't felt in a long time. Not certainty. Not wealth. Just possibility. That is the real reward. Not the number in the account. The feeling that you are moving slowly, steadily, intentionally in the right direction. I want to leave you with something. Not a tip. Not a technique. Something more honest than that. You have been working hard. If you've been struggling with money, it is not because you are lazy or foolish or bad with numbers. It is because nobody sat you down and told you this. Your parents probably weren't taught it either. School certainly didn't teach it. And the entire economy around you is specifically designed to make you spend, not save. The system is not on your side. But now you know. And knowing, really knowing in your bones, is the beginning of everything. The habits we talked about today are not complicated. They are not even that hard, once you decide. The hardest part is the decision. Because deciding means admitting that some things need to change. And change is uncomfortable even when it leads somewhere better. But I want you to imagine, just for a moment, a version of yourself 3 years from now. Not rich. Not perfect. Just free. Free from the monthly panic. Free from the debt anxiety. Free from the feeling that you're always one mistake away from collapse. That person is available to you. Not through luck. Not through a salary that magically doubles. Through 11 small decisions made consistently over time. You don't have to do all 11 at once. Pick one. Just one. The one that hit closest to home as you watch this. Start there. That's all. If something in this video made you stop and think, if Amara's story felt a little too familiar, I'd love for you to subscribe. Because this channel is not about making money sound impressive or complicated. It's about making it human. Real. Possible. Every week, we talk about money the way it actually affects people's lives, not just in theory, but in the specific, daily, emotional way it shows up for all of us. And if you know someone who needs to hear this today, a friend, a sibling, someone going through something difficult, share this video with them. Not because I need the views. Because this information changed how I think about money. And it might change how they think about theirs. Thank you for watching. Now go pick your one habit. And start.